All right, what's going on, my fitness seekers all over the world? KHP Fitness here to give you an update about my dopamine fast, man, and how it went. I would say it went pretty well. It went pretty well. Now, I got up at 6, but I was still a little tired, so I went back to sleep until 10. After that, I got onto it and I hit the road about 11, but I didn't get back here until about 6 a.m. So I wanted to go ahead and take it hour by hour on how it went. Okay? So that's how we're going to break it down. I'm not going to lie, the first hour was rough. Well, not even the first hour. I would say the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes. I'm a big music buff. So with me not having my music, that really took me off guard. So it took me a little bit to get adjusted to that. So what I did is I'm walking down the road and I'm looking for every excuse. What we do, I'm looking for every excuse in the book to turn around. Oh, maybe I forgot something. Nope, I got everything. Oh, maybe I didn't drink enough water before I went. Nope, got one in my book bag. So I made sure I got all the excuses out of my system before I went ahead and went for my walk. And that was the biggest thing. So I would say first 10 minutes was rough, not doing it with any music, but it turned out pretty damn good. And to continue on that, I started discovering things on that first hour too. So as I got down, one of the things that happened to me is I lost my keys in the midst of it to the house. So I was like, where did I put those keys? So I'm back tracing my steps, looking around all crazy. And I was like, okay, so I only took one path. So let me go ahead and go out that way and I'll take the path back. So I took the path back and like I would say, after walking about 3, 4 minutes or so, maybe even 5 minutes or so, I actually saw it right where it dropped because I was fiddling with my book bag and I'm like, oh, man, it's like the bar on the key thing was just like annoying me. So I was like, all right, so let me go ahead and step it back, and I saw it. So that weeded out my excuse too. I was like, oh man, I got to go home and cancel this whole thing. And nope, found the keys. So I kept it moving. And what I did from there is I started discovering things that I never really would pay attention to. You know, so me finding things I never would pay attention to, what I did is I found this music shop. The music shop was a pretty cool thing. So from the music shop, I went by the train track and I discovered it. Let me show you. I discovered this rock, man. It was phenomenal. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but that thing is glistening. See that? Huh? Pretty, right? And you would never know because I've passed by the train tracks hundreds of times, got caught by plenty of trains on my way to get clients, but you would just never know until you just take a moment and look, you know? She's trying to run. There she is. She's trying to run away. So I was filming and she came in. One of the things about the dopamine fast is I had to do it alone. So I had to go out. So she was out, you know, getting her rest in. We had a kooky night the night before. We was going to go out, but we didn't.
Yeah, we were chilling.
We just chilled out, you know. And old man me was like, ooh, you know. But she, you know, she always wanted to go. But
I like dancing.
she knows.
And when he's out there,
Yeah.
if y'all don't know already, you know he can dance.
I get it in. So one of the biggest things I did, guys, was I was writing down everything that I was encountering. Not everything, not like, you know, but just like taking mental notes and then writing down in my notebook how I felt each hour as I was going. You know, was there anything? Was there like any anxiety, anything? Because it forces you to face your problems. And so with there being a situation of just being me, no music, and just looking around, just discovering things, you start hearing things too, man. I started hearing a lot more birds chirping. I started seeing everything, and I'll elaborate more on that too. It was just crazy to see how much you see when there's a situation where you're not basically getting so much dopamine that it blinds you, you know? So for the second hour, that one's a little cool though. This is when I started to ease myself out of all of this dopamine drip and really like get a baseline. I didn't think it would happen so quick, man. I thought I'd have to be out there maybe a little bit longer before it happened. but being that I was absorbing everything in, it just felt good, man. It just felt really good. Now, I sat and enjoyed the birds and just listened for a minute. And what I also did, I sat 30 minutes to meditate. It was a little bit cold, a little bit chilly. So with it being so chilly out there, it was kind of a little distracting, even with the coat on, to really get deep into that meditation. But what I did, instead of just trying to focus on one thing, and ultimately I wanted to clear space out of my mind. So what I did is I went ahead and just every sound that I heard, I would focus on that sound, and that was pretty dope. So I would close my eyes, and if I heard the birds over here, my eyes would go over there, and I would just start turning my head. I was hearing some people talk from a distance. The wind as it would swoop around me felt like a tornado. It was really cool, man. It was not a tornado, but you know what I mean. And I really felt at one with the place, man. But that chill, it was just like, ooh. Every time I don't exactly carry a lot of fat on the body, so I was just like really like chilling, and that was pretty cool. So I meditated for about 25 minutes or so. I got up, got all of my stuff together, drank some water. That was the most important thing, guys. The one thing I could do is ingest water. I could take some water in, and that was cool. So that kept me hydrated. So I wasn't thinking about, let me stop somewhere to get water. I had a big 50 ounce on me, and that really helped out. So after that, what I did is I went up to the library just to use the restroom, because having all that water, that can play on you. So what I did is I went up and I saw all of these birds, these goose. These goose don't play. Those goose don't play. So what they do, as soon as I come up, I got too close to one of the goose, and I was just trying to bypass it. And the other one, I think it might have been the male, they was like, they was running up on me, mouth all up, and they mouth all open. I was just like, I set up like so. I was like, I'm not going down easy, because they were coming from each side, but I shimmied around them. And once I got away from the female goose, they were good. They must have been fighting over some dominance or something. That's the only thing I can think of. After that, what I did is I headed down to downtown Melbourne area. I just passed through. And in the midst of me passing through, before I got there, I was actually seeing this guy on a bike. He's coming with his dog, and his dog was like racing like full speed. Then he got faster, but he wasn't coming after me. He was chasing squirrel. So the dude's still in the back, and the dog is speeding up, and he just swerved, and then he sees the curve. So he's smart enough, he jumps over the curb, and he's like, "You stupid dog!" And he got so upset with the dog. But it just was crazy, because that stuff, another thing I never would have saw if I was just in the car or in my phone, just walking straight ahead, that kind of stuff. Combine the second and third hours for you. See how fast that day goes, guys? So I'm gonna go into the fourth hour. For the fourth hour, what I did there, I just took some time. I arrived at Ruffle Park, and this is after about 20 minutes, 30 minutes of walking. Not even that long. Maybe like 15, 20 minutes of walking. I went down and got to Ruffle Park, and that was pretty cool. Because what I did is that's this park I take KJ to all the time. And when I went down there, I just sat. I did a little stretching, just a little light, because I want to keep loose, keep my legs from cramping. That was a lot of walking I was doing, man. So just did a little light glute work, kicks and high kicks and things of that nature as I was walking. But then I sat down and just wrote down mental moments, and I came up with like 15. And that'll be even more that I can express. And I just started uploading those more to YouTube and such too, for sure, because it's been a while since I've done one of those. But it was real cool, because I came up with a whole bunch of concepts that I like to live by, that I can express with people, and I'll show you those later on. All of that, before I began my journey after making those mental moments, within the fourth hour, this real playful dog came up to me. Man, a lot of dogs around, right? It's another one in this story as I go further on. But, so, came up and he's just like sizing me up. And I was like, "Is that your owner over there?" And he hightailed his butt on out the way. And it's funny because he was chasing the kids and stuff of that nature, but he saw me when I was doing my run, and that's when he ran up on me. You know, whenever you run and the dogs see you run, they think it's a game. So them thinking it's a game, that's what's gonna happen. Passed by FIT first, and you know, I really don't know much about FIT. I didn't go there. But you know, even then, I sat there and I read the big sign, how it all started with astronauts, and I thought that was pretty interesting, man. And you see all these kids who are coming to be engineers and all of that, and it's just a pretty cool thing, you know. It's approaching the 5th hour, so getting a little tired at that point walking around. So I was like, I think it's about to start heading home, because I did walk pretty far, about 2 hours away. So I knew I'd spend the next 2 hours probably walking back home. So I just started going the way I needed to, you know. She loved interrupting my videos. I passed by something that was the most interesting, I think, of all of it too, that I mentioned earlier, called Tucker Street. I went down that street 100 times at least, living in that area, and never realized. I thought it was a little dog park. It was like fenced off. So now that I have a chance to read it, I read that some people from like original black pioneers from the 1900s, like 1905 and 1906. Oh no, 1905 and 1908 actually died, and they were buried there. But it took the community to clear out all the brush and trash and everything that was around to see these graves, man. And I thought that was a huge thing, to be like, wow, the things that you miss when you're so full of this dopamine, you know? And I took a moment. I took about 10 minutes to respect the grave, pay my respects to the ones that came before. And yeah, it was a pleasant experience. Well, after that, man, started walking down the Tucker Street, as I was telling you, and I see this pit, and I'm like, shit. And I didn't see any leash on it, nor the owner. So I was like, oh man. But it looked tamed enough, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, pits get a bad name, I get that. I don't trust any dog off his leash. I've been attacked by chihuahuas and everything under the sun. So that's the third dog of the video. Third dog. There, I went ahead and picked up a stick just to be cautious. And you know, I'm walking by, and he says no to me. Yeah, he's yawning. So I'm trying to ease on by to the left-hand side of him, and he's just like, oh. And he sees me, and I'm like, damn it. So I'm still, and you know me, dogs can smell fear. That's the truest thing in the world. So what I did strategically is I just kept the stick in my hand, make sure he knew I had it, and I just walked on to the left, kept my eye contact as I was turning around on him, kept the eye contact all the way through, and just walked backwards. And eventually he started doing this. But he's not coming fast. It's just like coming, like creeping, like curiously creeping on me. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. But then as I sped up the pace, not running, but sped it up in my walk and kept looking at him, he lost interest, and he stopped, and he went back over to the truck. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to beat no dogs up today. I ain't want to get bit either, you know? I'm pretty good at jumping over. I was scanning the place, like, oh, what fence could I jump? What car can I get on top? And I'll apologize later. Wasn't trying to get bit, man. Gotta take care of these legs. At the 6th hour, I'm feeling it now. I am feeling it. All in my legs. Like, I feel this. I'm walking like, ooh, man. Like, you can feel it. I had the Asics on, and these shoes, they're super comfortable too. But, you know, after you're walking so long, man, it just hurt. So, after all of that, I was just getting down, and it's just, you know, I'm just taking the path back, but I'm still just seeing things like the overview of just the water. It's a lot of things still to absorb. I'm feeling it in my legs. I'm still taking a moment to just look, but I'm keeping up a steady pace too. And that'll be it for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed me explaining that to you, man. I arrived home. I sat and I thought about my thoughts, and a little something you can take from it. This is what I got from the improvement pill. And what I did is I wrote down 3 things that I can use to improve my situation or any situation you're struggling with. How you felt that day. I wrote down if it was physical or mental pain. You know, anything of that nature. If I felt any discomfort, I wrote that down too. And then you write down three of the worst things that can happen if you keep down that bad path, like not eating better, not focusing on yourself, on your well-being. That's something that you can write down. And then you write down three things that you can do to improve your situation. And then how these things would affect you if you went the left way, which is the bad way. If 5 years from now you just went that way or you went the other way, and 5 years from now if you kept that up, how would your situation improve? So, it's just something that you can definitely do to better yourself, man. And like I said, you can check out the improvement pill, YouTube. I checked that out and that was super, super awesome. I'm definitely going to do it again at least once a month now. Just to get myself on the environment, man. And we want to sit there and we want to do this and do that on our tablets and such. Just find things to do, But if it's not productive, it's never going to move you forward. So if you're tired of working for a dead-end job or anything, you have to figure out a way out of that, guys. Not everybody's going to win the lotto or find a way out that way. It's just not how it goes, man. You got to work for it. So with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and more videos to come, man. I've been slacking on this YouTube thing, but I just do it for fun. And if it picks up, it picks up. If it doesn't, I'm still here, It's not where you train, it's how you train. You know my motto, guys. Keep fit. Boom, boom, boom. Talk to you guys soon.